All right. Welcome to Idle Red Hands.
Hey.
I'm Jeremy.
I'm Lyle. Yeah. Jeremy couldn't actually hide behind his wealth of toys, but I was small enough to be able to.
And today we're going to do an unboxing of just arrived Village Attacks Kickstarter. So this is the kind of the basic pledge for their Kickstarter, and Village Attacks is a game by Grimlord Games, and previously we played and unboxed their Endure the Stars, their sci-fi setting. So this is a fantasy setting with a little bit of a twist. It's cooperative, which Endure the Stars was as well, but it had some hidden objectives and things that could bring some clash between the characters. This is cooperative, and it's more of a, if you've ever played a tower defense game or something where you're, enduring kind of waves of oncoming enemies, that's what this game is set up to be. But the twist is you're playing the monsters. So you're basically, Frankenstein's monster or Dracula in the castle, and the villagers are torches and pitchforks coming to get you. So this is everything in the basic pledge. They've got their little Kickstarter extra box, their little exclusive dice. And the interesting mechanic of the game is every one of your turns, you roll these kind of, these mysterious symbol dice. So there's no numbers really. The only kind of math that you're doing with this is just figuring out how you want to break up the dice. So you roll 6 dice and then you distribute them between the different powers of the characters. So each turn you're doing that again and again. So there's no rolling for combat. You're just comparing values. So it's a very light and very easy in that regard, and the kind of 6 dice mechanic is fun.
Okay.
So, are we ready to see what is inside?
Yeah, let's look inside, or let's look at the boxes first. The outside.
Right. Oh, yes. Okay, so, Village Attacks.
Now, we took the plastic off
Yes.
just so we didn't have any glare, and also to spare you listening to plastic being unwrapped, but we haven't opened it yet. So.
Right. Yeah, so it's the first time being open, so we're going to see exactly what's going on inside. Yeah. And we're pretty happy. I think the thing we're happiest with...
See the back?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
So Village Attack. Yeah, the art's good. I mean,
yes.
If you're familiar with Endure the Stars, the art was amazing. The miniatures were really, really well done.
Yes.
So that was good, and so far, it's meeting that same standard.
Right.
Yeah, I guess 14 and up.
Yes. And more tiles, more miniatures and tiles.
Yeah, I think that's just the new standard for board games, eh? And yeah, standard stuff. I mean, hey, that's the back of the box. You can see that in the store. And I guess it's already out of miniature.
Yeah, that was the thing that was a little frustrating. Is a few days before this actually arrived, I saw online retailers had their copies of it, so you could buy it, the core game at least, discounted before the Kickstarter pledges even received those. And I think we received them. Actually, no, the box said that this came from Sweden, so it wasn't one of those direct from China opportunities. So sometimes the board game shippers will actually be able to assemble the game and send it directly to China, so Japan gets it pretty early. But this looked like it was coming from Sweden, so somewhere, put together somewhere in Europe.
Yeah. And
that gave us a little delay, so.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I kickstarted the new BattleTech computer game, and then when it was released, already the sites were having it like 30% off.
Yes,
and stuff.
yeah.
I'm like, I mean, sure, I got extras, and it was just nice to support BattleTech.
Right. Yeah. So the discounters, do make you pause if you really do want. Whoa, there we go. So we got the rulebook, and as is kind of standard now, so it's a soft cover but full color, which is nice. Rule book with everything.
It looks like something you see at a Fantasy Flight Games.
Yes, really, it is. Oh, and they even put the title on the little tray.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's funny. So and the kind of standard layers of trays of minis, and wow, yeah, we'll probably try to do some turnarounds, some 360s of some of these, because especially the bigger ones will be fun to look at. And they smell like they're made of plastic. Yeah, it's the detail. It's the same level of detail. Actually, they look a little bit smaller than 28 millimeter. Like the scale is a little smaller, especially for the villagers. And maybe that's intentional because you probably have to grab
monsters
them.
Can.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like. The arms look a little short on this guy. Wow. Actually, they look very, very short.
He's got a lot of
little dwarfism. Yeah, more looks like realistic proportions on the not only with the features. Maybe the heads are a little small, but the weapons aren't oversized.
Right. Yeah, but it's board game quality detail or board game level detail, so not incredibly intricate, but it looks nice. And the larger the miniatures are, the more detail there is. But on some of the smaller, we'll get some closer shots of this. Some of the smaller miniatures, you can see definitely a loss of detail on a lot of the weapons and gear, but it's still nice and interesting poses.
Yeah. Now there's heroes. Of course, there's the monster heroes which you would play, but this is an example of a town hero, the executioner.
What are they called? I'm not sure what they call them, but
I think they're
village
called
heroes.
Or village heroes or town heroes.
Town heroes, something like that. So the larger, the ones you face kind of one at a time. So your kind of boss monsters.
Right.
So 2 trays of miniatures. So quite a bit of the villagers, and of course the colored bases, so you can locate.
Don't Stars had this, right?
Yes, they do. Yeah, this is becoming really popular now. Just so at a glance you can identify.
Rubbery, it's good.
And also the other common thing that you see a lot is when there's 2 sides, they'll do a slightly different colored plastic. So even if you don't paint them, it's easier to tell apart the 2 factions of the 2 sides. So all the villagers are going to be in the gray.
Now it's 1 to 5 players. So there's the 5th monster.
Yes, one more. Yeah, and of course, then in all of the expansions, there's more. Yeah. They give you more town heroes and more monsters.
I like some of the monster choices, and when we open those up, we'll talk about that a little bit. But this got like a succubus, it's like a vampire.
Right. I think this is the banshee. Yeah, the other monster hero is the banshee.
Yeah. So who do we get in here? We'll see in a sec when we look at the.
But nice.
The dashboards, I guess they're called. So tiles. There's some tiles here. I think it looks like special crossroads.
Right.
And looks like you have a little space here in which to store stuff, your dice.
Maybe these
stuff.
guys. Yeah, once you open them. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, so that's nice. Just thinking about after you unpack everything, where does stuff go?
Oh, there's got counters and things as well. Right.
It would be nice if maybe the cards had a place to store.
Yes.
So some people might put those. I don't know where you put those. And then stuff you can punch out.
Yeah, so we've got a nice thick cardstock on the little panels, your little dashboards for your monsters. Yeah, nice and thick. 'Cause sometimes the thinner dashboards are very warped and very, very not so nice to play on. But these are nice. They don't have. No. There's not an inset. Often you'll see an inset, like a double layer with an inset. If you're placing dice, if you're distributing dice, but they don't have that. But it still seems like, and you're only using 6, so it's not like it's that difficult to keep track.
But a nice size, nice art on that. So we've got the banshee, the succubus,
the vampire.
The Doulahan. And I'm not familiar with the Doulahan, but I do like the Lich, and here's the Lich. But it seems in the expansions we'll see where they've really tapped into some interesting folklore and mythologies.
Oh, nice.
So we'll talk about that. I'm actually not familiar with this one, but I guess if I read here, it doesn't say where he's from.
Headless Horseman. Yeah.
Oh, the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that would be from Celtic mythology.
Maybe, yeah.
I know we're going to see something from Scottish and some Russian and First Nations.
So and these guys are UK based, so they're probably doing. And I've been playing with this coin, so they give you probably a first player token or a little metal coin that's nice.
Yes, and we've got. I guess dials. There was the word I was looking. It's not a clock.
So you keep track of the state of both the castle and the village itself to determine how difficult things are getting. And then here's all of our tokens. Oh, some more tiles as well. Yeah,
I'm a little bit surprised by the amount of tiles. But I guess it's not tile overkill, but the double-sided.
Right.
So that's something.
Yeah, and this is your starting area, so so you're going to always start with one of those big tiles, and maybe, and I'm sure scenarios are going to give you your configuration, how to lay them out. Yeah, so it's not a lot. It's not a lot of tiles.
Right, but we already see that there's not enough space. This is pretty much filled up. Your tile space, so you're going to have more. So it looks like you are going to have a lot of loose stuff, so you'll have to.
Right. Yeah.
Some people love that. not in that camp.
Right.
Hey, now I got a box, like a blank slate.
Right.
So
And
how can I organize it?
Right,
And I'll post videos.
Right, yes.
We actually have a video of someone who, Alan,
that's
showing
right.
you how to organize a game.
Yes, yeah, and so very often people just all the tokens go into little bags and just everything's divided up. So you just got a box of baggies, of all your little individual things. Oh, and they have a thing that works nice with the dashboard is I'm not going to have probably a match here, but so the dashboard you can see has 3 special abilities or 3 powers, and when you upgrade them, you overlay these cards. So whatever level it is, then you keep overlaying that. So no stickers or anything. But you easily replace. Whenever you upgrade that ability to the next level.
Right.
So that's nice. Yeah. So here's all the covers for the dials, and I think the spawn areas for the villagers and all of that good stuff. Oh, and also they have, if you notice, the sides of the dice, there's tokens that represent the sides of the dice because, of course, you have to pass those 6 dice around to every player. So if you keep any left over in reserve, you need to just use these to mark what you
that's
kept.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So they give you enough. And they did give us another set of dice. So with just 2 or 3 players, we might be okay without using tokens. But
and here's some of the special characters: Bounty Hunter, Executioner, and Alchemist.
nice. And just abilities.
And of course, they have models for these.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, everything's got.
So I pulled out the Executioner one. It was pretty good. I mean, but the art looks great. I mean, you certainly would want these on the board.
Oh yeah. And it's nice that they give you big color art on the dashboard, especially if you're going to paint the miniatures. You can you kind of have a guide for how to color everything.
And a nice dice bag for those too lazy to buy a bottle of Crown Royal.
Right.
And drink that. So.
Nice. Yeah. So it's very full, but not an overload of components. There's been a few games that we've opened, especially. There's just been a few things that have had so many.
was an example of one where you
by
overwhelmed
the amount of miniatures and miniatures. Yeah, because there so many different multiples of so many different factions. Yeah, you just had trays and trays and trays of monsters.
I thought Endure the Stars was a nice balance where you still felt really interested in trying out all of the different ones. You just didn't they're just lost in us.
Oh yeah,
like a mob.
Yeah, and Grimlord is releasing the kind of 1.5 rules for Endure the Stars, and the interesting thing they did is reduce the miniature count for the aliens. So if you buy the upgraded version, you actually get fewer miniatures because they changed the economy of how the monsters respond and things.
Yeah.
So so I guess anyone that got in early was lucky because we've got a big old bag of aliens from that Kickstarter. But a little bit small in scale, almost.
That looks really tiny. This is a normal.
Right, it's just a normal villager, and I think that may be intentional because you have to crowd them in. Because if you look at these bases, these definitely aren't 25 mil bases, so you might have to crowd them together.
Well, I'm wondering about I'm looking at these two. This does not look like a child, but this comparison is quite. Obviously, this is a big person.
Right.
With tiny arms. Yeah, the other ones, actually, I mean, maybe this person was supposed to have small arms, because the other ones look more proportioned.
Yeah, and it may just be a visual thing, so that the less powerful kind of tiny minions, visually don't look as menacing either.
I'm wondering. I mean, there's so many of these file-based board games with lots of miniatures. I wonder if people are running out of room. In their house, and they can look at all the miniatures and just get overwhelmed. Like, I never have time to paint those or anything, or have a spot for them. So maybe less is more in the future.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think that's right. And a lot of justification for buying the games that come with 100 miniatures is, well, you can use them for role playing or something. But once you have so many, it becomes very difficult to actually have a decent way to organize them and get at them. Yeah.
There's one that's I can't remember the name, but it's kind of space Nazis or with mechs and that. But this company has had 3 Kickstarters in a row and has yet to fulfill any of the games.
Whoa, really?
And people are commenting on this one and said it looks cool, but you haven't fulfilled any of your games yet.
Wow.
So I'm wondering, and the makers of Torg, they're actually really good about making sure that the previous game has shipped out before they start the Kickstarter. So they're waiting about Living Land or finish shipping out Living Land, before they start Nile Empire. Actually, I think that's tomorrow that they're going to be starting that. But that's good that they do that, and it's just like with that we can focus on the one game, get it out there.
Yeah, that's true. And I see a lot of companies apologizing where they're like, well, we know we've had some delays, we know we haven't fulfilled everything, but here's a new Kickstarter. Yeah, there's a little sheepish. Oh, let's do the. I guess let's start with
Kickstarter.
Yeah,
exclusive.
Kickstarter. What you get that you can't get at retail, and I think it was interesting, but not overwhelming. Not oh my god. Oh yeah, it's not overwhelming. It's 2 miniatures. So it's a monster and a village hero, a town hero, and another color. So I think this adds another player.
Didn't Massive Darkness do this, where where they had both factions, both had monsters and heroes within the boxes?
Yeah.
And I noticed we see that in the other ones too. This is this the Revenant? Whoops. This is the Grimlord Revenant?
Yes.
Yeah, I think. And let's see. Well, I guess I could just read that. Oh, the Grim Lord. Okay.
There he is. Nice. And they gave us some, like they do, some special...
The base is warped here.
Yeah, I had that with a few of the Endure the Stars as well.
Okay.
With the larger bases, they seem, and I think it's just when they get pulled from the molds too fast, you just see them a little bit wobbly. So it's some hot water, a little extra love and some hot water flattens them out. But yeah, with the larger bases, because they're so thin, I think.
Now I'm understanding with the Grimlord and the Grimlord Revenant. It doesn't actually say Grimlord Revenant here, but it said it on the Kickstarter page.
Yes.
So this is the Revenant of this guy.
I see.
Ooh,
wow.
That's clever.
That may have, nice. So some marble textured dice, and I'm not sure if these were a freebie that they threw in. I think they were. This is everything that was kind of exclusive. So they did some nice dice. So now there's 2 sets, so that you may not have to use the tokens to keep track with this mini die. Although they're marbly enough that they're getting a little harder to read.
Right.
They're not black when they do.
Looking at these miniatures, maybe we could do like a close up later. It's
sure.
The same sword.
Yeah.
Same helmet.
Oh, nice.
And it looks like he has a bird on his shoulder, and he has, I guess, the remnants of a bird on his shoulder here. So it's the same person.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice idea.
Right.
Yeah.
You had to play as both. Yeah. So someone that went into the castle to kill the monsters and died, and
she's even like leaning. Yeah, I would say that the Grimlord is better sculpt, or at least it came out better than the Revenant. It's actually not only is the base warped, but he's
leaning pretty hard.
Yeah, he's leaning pretty hard. I don't know if that's intentional, because I can't imagine something. It's almost like a motorcycle making a turn.
Right. Yeah.
So I guess he's really fast.
With the larger heroes, with Endure the Stars, they had a few of those same things.
That's cool with dragging the sword. But
he's dragging everything.
But that's if you kickstarted it, you got that.
Right.
If you didn't, I guess
you don't have a Revenant.
I guess you look at the secondary market.
Right. Yeah, and we may actually want to do a video about how to put hot water on these, or a hot air gun, and straighten them out, because it does look.
Yeah, that's a good point though, about showing like people how to fix their miniatures, because mini gamers probably used to doing that. But a lot of board gamers now are having a lot of miniatures to deal with. So people are starting painting for the first time and
right.
fixing their things.
Yeah, and that it might be good too to show some quick painting techniques too, because you can do a lot if you've got hundreds of miniatures and they're just minions. They don't need a lot of detail. A lot of washing and dipping and easy colors.
So this one's traps?
Yes.
And I guess that's pretty important in the game, because they've got to set up traps in their castle, right?
Right. Keep the villagers at bay.
That's good. Wow. What else were you going to say? Now, is this like Massive Darkness, where they provided plastic versions of cardboard traps?
I'm not sure. Actually...
Or are these totally brand new traps?
It may be, but we don't have any cards or anything. So this actually may be plastic versions of traps. I didn't notice them on the card sheet though. But you're right. Oh, let me just look at the whole deal.
Oh, we got a ball that I guess rolls down, just like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, no, you have trap cards, so I think you're right. I think these are kind of
Okay.
the manifestation. So you probably play trap cards in certain squares, but
Yeah.
this way you can play them.
Well, they certainly look nice. There is some warping on this one, but the other ones look pretty solid. It seems like the lighter plastic has a problem. Like this is slightly lighter than the other ones, so it seems that that's
Doing
more
better.
prone to warping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here's, spikes.
Nice. Yeah, so everything you're standing.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. Oh, yeah, your mimic. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh wow, yeah. And there's little stands. I guess some of these are floating traps, so you have kind of little like flight stands.
I'm guessing there must be like a cardboard. Well, we didn't see like even plastic objects.
Right.
So I guess you would put like a little cardboard chest, and then it turns into a mimic. Because I guess that was just sitting there.
Yeah, you're.
Hey, you want to check the chest? No.
No,
feel
not
bad.
interested.
That's nice. You got a little skeleton there.
Yeah, some nice details.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I would. I think I'm one of those people that's getting a little bit of mini fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
So I might not have gotten this on my own. I got the cardboard. I'm content. But they look nice.
Right.
So if you wanted like a 3D.
Oh yeah.
Wow, the troll. That's
The
pretty
troll,
big.
yeah, I think this was one of those stretch goals that kind of everybody got, and I'm not sure if it goes to retail, but yeah, it looks. Oh, and it is big. Yeah, this is one of those minis that they showed off. That's just a giant. Oh, and there he goes. And actually, yeah, the bigger they are, yeah, the nicer.
And it says it's owing its allegiance to neither man nor monster. It wanders the castle, attacking anything foolish enough to find itself in its path.
Nice.
Oh, so it's they're saying it's adding an extra game element.
Right.
It says that, and then it doesn't provide any cards.
I wonder, yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder
so
if they
maybe
have it as
it's-
an optional rule.
Yeah.
Because I guess that happened in another game as well, and I can't remember which one it was, but the Kickstarter gave you something that was
Yeah.
an additional rule that they printed in the book that went to retail, and so people in retail are like, oh, I didn't get this. I don't back this.
Gosh,
Yeah.
they must have a cardboard troll or something. But yeah, that is pretty nice.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also
Uh,
the thing that a lot of companies are taking advantage of too is using the internet and releasing PDFs with additional campaigns or additional rules to kind of shake things up. Oh yeah, the troll is printed in here, so if you didn't back the Kickstarter, you wouldn't have it. You may be able to get it at retail, but here's his rules. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's cards for it. So yeah.
Yeah. So
The designers are like who drew that. This is a pretty interesting looking troll. Might look more depending on what your image of a troll is. It looks very ogre-y to me. But yeah, it could be a troll in some places. Definitely, if you're a fan of Japanese oni,
Yes.
the less demonic ones, the more ogreish ones, I'd certainly be happy with that. I like the swords. I guess I guess you could call them almost cleavers. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and it seems like Kickstarters always have to have the large scale miniatures, so the big dragon or something.
Yeah.
That there's like, if we reach this level, then you get the big one.
Yeah.
And then the expansions. I think this was just basically what was included, and I think an additional 3 or 4 more. And basically, like the other sets, there are going to be some villagers and some monsters.
Yeah, and this is the Slavic one, the Slavic themed one. Baba Yaga, I think that's pretty famous, and Voidianoi, which I hadn't heard of prior to this. But yeah, and plus you get your 2 monsters, and you get 2 heroes, or 2 villagers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a portal mage is one of them.
Oh wow. Making doors. Yeah, and then
This guy's
they
got a
give
harpoon. That's neat.
nice. Yeah, and they give you the dashboards in there and additional colors. Oh, and I guess the colors match the trim on the dashboards, which is nice. Or the trim. I'm sorry, the trim on the
Yeah.
on the cards.
The fisherman. Yeah, wow, that fisherman looks really nice. The model looks great. That's a nice concept to have a fisherman. It's nice, really playing with the village theme,
Yes.
but having somebody who looks really capable
Yes,
to
yes.
fight. So that's really dynamic. I could see somebody going, "This is going to be my D&D character
Oh,
or Pathfinder
yeah.
character."
Yeah.
That is nice. That is really nice.
Nice. Yeah, so they give you upgrades.
So unlike the traps, where I might not splash out and get the extra thing. This is a set that I could see getting. This is an expansion. I like how they stick to a theme of well, we're gonna go Slavic on this one.
Right. Yeah, so they give you, what is it? Despair and Aberrance, and now we have Rage and Avarice.
And this is the First Nations one.
Yes.
That's the Windigo and the Bat. Oh, what's the other one called? Windigo and Baycock. Baycock. And that's Windigo. I think that's more universal First Nations. What the Baycock is a Ojibwe, so that's around the Great Lakes area. Yeah. So if you're in Ontario and Canada, a lot of meet First Nations people. It's a good chance they might be Ojibwe or Chippewa, but I don't know if they like to be called Chippewa these days. But Ojibwe. So I like this. So, I mean, how often do you see First Nations, or if you're American, Native American creatures of legend or monsters and that? I mean, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, and it's nice. You got a nice theme. Yeah, certainly the Rage and the Avarice. That's nice, but just the fact that they're from the same, or pretty much the same region of the world.
Yes.
So, yeah, and for the Spirit Tracker, so keeping with the same theme, Wind Dancer and Spirit Tracker, I like that. I don't think that's offensive.
No.
Yeah. So I think that would be pretty cool. I think somebody who would look at these. I don't know if these look like Ojibwe. That looks Iroquois, so that would be from the same area. Yeah. This headdress, I don't know if that's in keeping with the area, but I guess if Windigo are pretty much all through the north, Canada and Alaska, but yeah, I don't know. This kind of looks like more of a plains,
right.
Native American, but I'm not an expert on that. So, but still, I like that. And again, I mean, if you were, if you really wanted like an Iroquois like character for D&D or your fantasy RPG, you might be hurting to find a miniature, but here you go.
Yeah, that's true.
That's nice. That is really nice. And people from the UK, that's a Mohawk, not a Mohican.
Oh, right.
Please watch Last of the Mohicans again. Daniel Day-Lewis does not have a punk hairstyle. He's the Mohican. Right. The other guys are Mohawk. Yeah, Mohawks were a type of Iroquois. Yeah. And I'm not sure if that hairstyle was exclusive to Mohawks, but we've certainly identified that. Maybe all Iroquois had that. Actually, Iroquois have a really nice history.
Well, this was something that came up. We were talking about Book of Eli and the Windigo. So there's a actual cannibalize ability, built into that.
Nice,
built into that monster. So very thematic.
Yeah.
That's
gosh. I can easily see myself playing the Windigo or the Baycock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't familiar with the Baycock prior to the game, but of course I think everybody's. I mean, they've made what's called there. What's that? Ravenous? Ravenous, I think is the movie name, and that's based on the Windigo.
Oh, really?
Mythos. There's the Marvel Hulk villain, Windigo. Right. I think actually Hulk became Windigo.
Oh, really?
It became there's like a Windigo Hulk, and you're just like, please stop. Yeah, no, this is really nice. This would be my first purchase after getting the main game. Would be cool. This one. Yeah.
Yeah, for a UK company, that's very cool. To not only have a European-based, folklore traditions. That's great.
Yeah, I'd love to see them do more, like something more from America, like the Native American stuff. Some of their traditions. Yeah.
And Wrath and Ruin is the last set.
And this is the Celtic one?
Yes, it looks like it.
Yeah, so and these are what they're called. I think they're called Tutelaries. They're which means like a guardian spirit. Both of these. One is the forest, and it's the Laishi, which actually, no, I say Celtic. Sorry, I think this is actually only one of them is like Scottish, and this one is Slavic.
Oh. Really?
Or Russia. But the reason why I thought he was Celtic because it reminds me of Herne the Hunter. So it leads packs of dogs and that. But yeah, he looks really, really great. These are actually, I don't know. This is a Glacic or something.
Let's see.
Glycic. Glacic. But I guess this is both can be benign or benevolent spirit. But I think this guards water, and this one guards the forest. And again, I think maybe that guardian can be the Lacey can be malevolent and benign. But again, it's a nice theme there because they're both guardian spirits.
Yeah.
And so that's the theme there. So it's not a region.
Right.
And what do we got for?
We have a pathfinder and a jailer for the two village heroes, and the jailer has a gigantic key that is also his axe, his two-handed axe.
So there's a little bend there. So I think
Yes.
I think it would be worthwhile if you did a video on how to fix these. I mean, we're looking at a warped base, so it's not going to stand properly.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But also, this is a very thin staff, so you could easily break that trying to get it back into shape. And looking at the Pathfinder, yeah, that's pretty fragile weapons.
Right.
Pretty thin. Looks like the bow is bent. So again,
Yeah, and surprisingly, it's just a kind of a factory error when they don't let things cool enough and they're pulling it out so that it's actually cooling outside of the mold itself.
Well, did you get these on time?
Oh, that's true.
There you go. I mean, they waited to cool, it would have been late.
Would have been even later. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the small heads. So if you like small heads, I guess if you're like superhero comimics, sure.
Right.
Then these are perfect. If you like larger heads, you're out of luck.
Tiny heads.
But yeah, that's the okay Pathfinder. You come to expect something like that. But Jailer, like that takes some imagination.
Right.
I don't love it like the Fisherman, or the ones in the First Nations pack. But yeah, that's interesting. And I don't know. I've never really seen a Lacey before, so I don't know what their face is supposed to be like. Whether it's supposed to have a lot of features, but this doesn't.
Right.
So I don't know if that's intentional or not. It looks good. Whoever they get to draw these up and design them, they do a really good job.
Yeah, and I think the translation, because always you'll see the art, especially on the dashboards, is very nice, and then they have to have a sculptor actually translate, not only the pose, but everything, all of the details into the miniature themselves, and they do a really good job. They don't, it's not imbalanced, because sometimes the original art is so gorgeous, and then the miniatures are very plain, or a little static in their pose.
Yeah. Now this is the Scottish one, and she's half goat. Yeah, and see, it looks like maybe casting a spell or something. Well, that's pretty cool. I mean, if you had a half goat spellcaster, this would be a pretty good miniature to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, you're the one that spent the money, Jeremy.
Yes.
Are you happy?
I think so. I really like. I want to see more how the game plays, but I really like not a huge amount of miniatures, so not a lot to paint if you really want to have a fully painted set. And but the quality of the components is great, and I think even a step up from Endure the Stars. They had some thinner cardboard. Their cards were nice linen stock cards, and it looks like they have the same. It's the same quality here, but miniatures look very similar. Kind of board game quality, but very interesting sculpts, and of course gorgeous art throughout the whole game. So the tiles are very well rendered, and all the tokens and everything have are very thematic and have a very nice character. So I'm happy with it, and I'd like to see it on the table. And I'm still kind of considering whether or not it's that necessary to pledge as a Kickstarter, because you do get some extra, but it's not. I don't think it's really game changing. I don't think there's a lot that. I mean, it is kind of disappointing if there is no retail troll, that you have this little entry in your rule book that that you'll never be able to.
Seems like an optional rule.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So looking at this, I wouldn't jump at the next Grimlord Kickstarter because the core game seems to be plenty. And the extras like traps or trolls, I don't need it. And probably the traps is something that you wouldn't actually buy. So it probably was a Kickstarter pledge goal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the Kickstarter exclusives didn't impress me, but what impressed me is the stuff that you probably would see next to the main game and the monster hero sets.
Right.
Which are really good. I like the Endure the Stars story better but the gameplay was kind of like a lot of tile-based games where you are, heroes walking around, avoiding stuff and killing stuff. Whereas I like the idea is they're coming to you. They're coming to your castle, and you're setting up traps and trying to kill them. But I think maybe the story isn't that interesting, but the gameplay sounds more interesting.
Yeah.
And I really struggle not to jump to one of the expansions and just stick to that, because I do like some of the expansion sets, especially the First Nations one. Yeah, and I like the fact that they have a really strong theme in those expansions, be it what type of monster they are, such as guardians, or the region of the world.
Right.
Yeah, so that's nice, and I like the regions that they chose.
Yeah, I think they did a good job. Yeah, there's a real nice variety, so you won't get bored if you're just gonna. It's not just the Gothic monsters and a kind of European style village setting.
I mean, you got the classic ones, or a lot of classic ones here. I'm surprised we don't see a werewolf or a golem. Well, I guess golems are traditionally kind of dumb. I'm thinking like Frankenstein monster.
Right.
Yeah, but you got vampire, succubus, the lich. Yeah, so ones you would expect. So,
yes.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, so I would probably recommend picking up this game, but you can probably do a lot better than the Kickstarter. And it seems like Kickstarters are having a lot of trouble controlling shipping too. So shipping has been pretty dear on a lot of these. On a lot of these, because they're not just sending you this; they're sending you a large box, fitting all of these expansions in them. And as you saw, there's a lot of air in here. There's not, they're shipping you a large container that doesn't necessarily need to be that big, and it's, I'm sure, hurting the shipping costs.
Yeah, and companies have gotten really smart about it now, and they're not putting the shipping costs in part of the main cost.
Yes,
like, so you're spending $200 for a game, they might be adding like $50-$70 for shipping, so they're not eating that cost. So it can be quite a surprise. We're really surprised by Siege of the Citadel's Siege of the Citadel shipping.
Yes. Yeah, I stepped back. I dropped a few extras just
to
cover the cost of the shipping.
Me too. So
Yeah, so that's disappointing, but it's going to be really fun to run the Mutant Chronicles RPG with all those minis.
Yes. That's good. But anyway, we're talking about Village Attacks. So
the Village Attacks.
Yeah, it certainly looks good. Keep an eye out for it, and definitely recommend the Rage and Avarice expansion. That I think would provide some good ideas, not only for this game, but also for your role-playing game.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thanks for joining us. If you like this unboxing, please like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment. Like, did you play Endure the Stars? What you think about it? What you think about our unboxing? Is there something that you wanted us to talk about that we didn't?
Right.
And you would want us to mention in future unboxings?
Yeah, so some more rules discussion. You want us to flip through the scenarios, to get a better idea of the game. But I think this gives you a sense of what you get. So if you're interested in the game at all, now you see physically what it is. All right.
Bye.
Bye.